I have to show this. Okay, let's go over some of this. First and foremost, Royal Guard is now pretty dang good. If you guys didn't think so before, well, now she has. I'm assuming it's a she. She's now updated, right? Touching up her kit, these changes pretty much just playing a part with Galactic Legend Lord Vader, and I guess some other Empire characters too, right? We're going to go into that very first, but let's just kind of briefly go over everything else. So that's that, and then it says here, for a limited time, this is the Geonosian Galactic Chase. For a limited time, these Geonosian characters have been added to various nodes as bonus drops, which is kind of, I don't think I've seen anything that has been non-ships for a Galactic Chase event. So this is pretty cool. It's from the 21st till the 27th. That's awesome stuff. So you know what I'll do, actually? I'll play this stuff first. This part of the video I'll play first, and then Lord Vader stuff later in this video. Maybe like a 30-minute, 40-minute video. Hopefully you guys enjoy that. Anyways, keeping it going, this is the next stuff I want to go over. Pretty much, they just changed Kenobi altogether. And he now has a lot of anti-Sith synergy, it shows here. So we'll briefly go up on this in a little bit. And then also, of course, we have Lord Vader. He's actually in the game right now. And then now they have Omega in the shard shuffle. Okay. All that being said, let's go and hop over into the game and just see some of this stuff. So let me, gosh, there we go. Let's go just look at this. First things first. There's so much. Oh my gosh. We got to go look at the Royal Guard. We got to look at Royal Guard. Wherever the heck she is, we got to go look at her. So let's see. There she is. Oh my gosh. She actually has a Zeta now. She has a freaking Zeta. So it says here, at the start of the encounter, if the allied leader is Empire, Royal Guard gains max health equal to 5% of the allied leader's max health. And then doubles. Oh, it's a he. My bad. And then doubles his health until the end of the encounter. So guys, this is probably going to be one of the most thick tanks in the game now with Lord Vader. My goodness. So I don't even want to do the math here, but people have been telling me like that could, oh my gosh, just double. Like, I don't want to go to the 1 million health thing or anything like that, but it could very well be that. If I were to assume who you want to one-shot first, if you're using a Master Kenobi and Commander Ahsoka, probably want to one-shot the Royal Guard, because that's probably the most annoying character to have to kill. So just gotta put that out there. And then also it says that at the end of each turn, if another ally took damage that turn, all Empire allies recover 6% health. Royal Guard taunts for 1 turn whenever another ally falls below 50% health. So that was already there beforehand. I want to say this other part of the unique was already here beforehand, but everything here and above is all new. So yeah, this is probably going to be your go-to tank. And if you guys don't have this guy with relics, maybe you didn't go for the Emperor, then go for this. This is going to be one of the most important tanks in the game for Lord Vader. So there you go. I mean, the other specials not as good. I think you have some of this. Like, some of this stuff is new, right? I mean, this is a new taunt, but pretty much, this is it. This is the key point here. That is so huge. Her basic, or his basic. I'm so used to saying her. It says if Royal Guard has more than 50% health, they get stunned on the target. So just everything around, all the way around the table here with Royal Guard is ridiculously good. I guess now in the game you can go see Lord Vader. In today's video, as this is like the first part, the other half, I went and talked about like how funny it really is that this guy is Empire, even though he doesn't really fit into it that well, in terms of like where he is in that part of his life. The Empire pretty much didn't even exist, but yet he is the Empire GL. All right, so that's the first thing. You already see him in the game, and the next thing here we're gonna go over is looking at where is he at? Kenobi. Did I already pass him? There he is. Okay, Master Kenobi got a bit of touch-up. So let's go back over to the post here and just look at it for a second, because this is pretty significant. I would say Royal Guard is number 1, and number 2 is Kenobi and the AI changes with this. So let's just go over one at a time here. His unique now, it says, while Master Kenobi has the high ground, he dispels stealth from all enemies. This is going to be huge. I mean, every single thing here, I'd say almost every single thing here that's mentioned in this changes is going to directly go and try to counter or have some way of countering this new Lord Vader. So, for instance, we just read in today's kit, that he'll be giving out some stealth. Lord Vader will be giving out some stealth to those guys, right? Well, now if he goes into high ground, he can dispel the stealth, just like Darth Vader can with his Merciless Massacre. That's huge. Number one, that's big. Okay, number two here is his ultimate. So this is probably the biggest part to this now new change. It says, if at the start of the battle there was a light side unaligned force user that is also Galactic Republic, aka Commander Ahsoka Tano, all Jedi allies ignore protection when targeting a Sith enemy, and Sith enemies can't counterattack for the rest of battle. So I know this says in like this is the ultimate part, but I'm very curious to see what happens after the ultimate is now done. Will they still be ignoring the protection, and will they still have the Sith enemies being able to not counter for the rest of the battle? I don't know. I think that might just be in the ultimate, but if it lasts the entire battle, this is busted. This might just be the reason as to why we're going to be killing a lot more of these Lord Vaders. But now that I think about it, I think the biggest thing here isn't the ignoring protection part. It's just they can't counterattack. They can't have that retribution. I think Maul might have it, and they just can't counterattack you. So that's huge. I mean, just reading that Royal Guard's new change with the first special, I think saying he gains retribution. Well, guess what? They can't counterattack. That's huge. So I'm not reading. I'm just thinking he's not a Sith. But anyways, that's still pretty huge in other cases. So that's that. The next thing here is pretty much, I would say, to fix the whole instance with the Night Sisters and the zombie and Daka, because it says they want to change the better interact to ignore taunt effects. So just making it a bit tougher to kill some of those Master Kenobis with your own Emperor, or Kylo with the Night Sisters. And in general, they just changed a lot of Galactic Legend to improve their AI. So yeah, that's pretty much it, I think, for this part of the video. And we're going to go and talk about Lord Vader. But I just want to kind of bring up here very first is this change right here, the ultimate change, and then also the dispelling stealth is huge. I mean, that goes to show you that they are trying to prepare us for Lord Vader. And it's kind of funny. They probably made Lord Vader so good that they had to go back and change Master Kenobi to still be able to beat Lord Vader. But anyways, yeah, I think that's about it for this part of the video. This might be a long video, guys. But yeah, Master Kenobi changes to his unique and also his leadership, or his rather ultimate. And then also we got that Royal Guard change. I just want to go show one more time because I think it's just so cool. And I'll get out of your guys' hair. I'm gonna wrap the video with something else. But yeah, Tank Empire, very, very simple, a lot more health, and it's just awesome. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts about all this down below. And with that being said, let's move on to the next part of this video. Hey, what's going on, guys? How are we doing today? Today's video is going to be covering some of the Lord Vader's kit and just kind of going over it in general. You know, I don't want to go word for word on every single thing, but I want to kind of bring up some concerns and just some things to his kit that I feel like are worth mentioning. So first things first, let's go and talk about this guy. He is the first Empire Galactic Legend, believe it or not. And, you know, it's kind of funny because it's I remember just talking with other people in Discords once this was dropped. This is probably going to go live the day after we kind of get his kit reveal out, and I'll probably make some more videos with other people out there talking more in-depthly about this all. But it's just as funny how this guy is going to be the Empire Galactic Legend when in time, while, you know, he is turning into Vader, and in this sense he is Lord Vader, the Empire hasn't even really been a thing. It's not even really in existence yet. Yet he is the Empire Galactic Legend. To me, that's pretty dang funny. I don't know. I'm not sure what CG is smoking over there. Not only is that one thing, like how he is somehow the Empire Galactic Legend, but also on top of that, Maul is the person who synergizes the best with him, you know? There is just nothing that makes sense here with Maul. I know he's like the Galactic Conquest character, like Commander Ahsoka, but you know, you're discounting Darth Sidious and you're discounting the Emperor, who are, in my opinion, the most indirect synergy-wise. That's the go-to guy, is the Emperor, Darth Sidious, whichever one you want to go and talk about. That is the guy that goes directly into talk with Lord Vader, and he's not even in the synergy suggestions. I mean, I know he's not Empire, Darth Sidious that is, and he works more with like the Sith Eternal Emperor, but like they don't even have the Emperor Palpatine here on the synergy suggestions. It's just kind of funny to me, both the reasons why he's even an Empire in the first place and how he has no synergy with the guy who pretty much made him fall to the dark side in the game, or in Star Wars in general. He's not even a part of this whole team. So just kind of funny, okay? Just kind of got to get these things out there off my chest. So whatever CG smoking over there, they're smoking it really good. I kind of want some. I want some of that. But also, in a sense, kind of sidetracking here, in a sense, for future GLs, they can really go and bounce around in different areas. They could have, like, I don't know, a GL bounty hunter and then making like a Force Ghost be that synergy to that bounty hunter. They could do whatever they want, man. CG is all powerful. Hopefully what I'm saying here doesn't like stop me from any future contact with CG or in any contact with him at all. I haven't gotten anything with them like other people have in recent days, but I mean, I would love to go and cover and talk stuff out with CG. Anyways, let's go and talk about this guy. What he brings to the table. Well, we can read some of the dev insights, but from what I want to just go over in today's video is just some scary things that you might want to be known, or like let the light be known out there, and just like know it's out there. It's going to be a scary guy, a scary team here. I think it's gonna for sure be able to counter almost every single thing out there. But in terms of defense, this might be either in my terms of what I want to think of it like, it's gonna at least be as good as Kenobi currently, but I feel like it has the potential to be even that much better than Kenobi, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. So first things first, we can see here he's a GL, dark side attacker, leader, and Empire and Sith. Somehow Empire, to the reasons why, I have no idea. Reasons unknown. So pretty much to sum up this entire kit, he just does a lot of extra damage ramping while, his allies are getting attacked and getting hit. And also, once he gets his ultimate, he kind of pops off. He's kind of like a Kenobi in the sense with his ultimate, where he has Ashes of the Republic, where Kenobi has the high ground. Ashes of the Republic gives him more, for each ability he has an additional kind of bonus to that ability. And he gets like a bunch. I'm talking right now. You can see this little paragraph here for this ultimate at 100% charge. 75% mastery. He dispels all debuffs on himself, and then he gets a bonus turn, reduces all cooldowns by 1. And he gains Ashes of the Republic for 5 turns, which is just like Kenobi's high ground. But I would actually dare say that this is better than Kenobi's high ground, because he takes, guess what? A bonus turn. Yeah, that's right, guys. He takes a bonus turn. And I think that's one of the scariest things here. So let's go talk a bit about this. So his basic, to summarize the basic, he can potentially hit 3 times and stacking damage if it's in the exact same attack. But from what I've seen, gameplay from the Operation Metaverse, I know it's just like a test build. There's no mods really included in what I remember. Still doing like 50k basics, and even on his other specials, he's doing like 100k. So just imagine this, if that was like a Relic 8, Lord Vader with actually good mods. I mean, that could be really, really high numbers, but we can't really see until we get people out there with those whales and krakens getting this guy unlocked here shortly. So yeah, basic, just doing more hits. Special 1, Dark Harbinger, cooldown of 3. So this, in my opinion, is probably the most powerful one, one of the most powerful specials in the game. So it kind of has to do with the true damage here. I think the true damage is a really scary thing, especially now with the changes to defense. So it says here, he inflicts buff immunity and healing immunity. So he is going to be stopping a lot of those taunts, a lot of those tanks in the game that you might have issues with, for instance, General Kenobi inside of a Master Kenobi team. So that's one thing. But then also it says here, a lot of his specials play in part with his ultimate. Not only do they play in part with his ultimate from specials, but also his allies getting hit, they gain even more special or more ultimate charge for his ultimate, right? So it says here he gains 1 ultimate charge, and Empire and Dark Side unaligned Force users recover 0.5% health for each stack of underestimated. So that kind of plays in part with his leadership with the extra health for those guys. But the big thing here is the true damage. That's very, very powerful. So next special, only 2 specials here. Pretty simple, right? It says here, Unshackled Emotions. This one is an AoE, and it's a pretty powerful one too. I think this one is going to stop a lot of those, you know, counters, whether it's a GL counter or whether it's, you know, a non-GL. I mean, this is the one that's going to stop it outright. Is just because not only do you get inflicted with daze, but you also get 4 damage over time effects for 2 turns, which can't be resisted. Even if you have tenacity up, or like maybe with Master Kenobi you have that protection up that really makes it so you can't gain debuffs. Well, now it's going to happen regardless of whatever you do. You can't out-resist this attack with a debuff. So it's pretty powerful. Then it says also for each stack of underestimated, this deals even more damage. And then the dark side allies gain 1% mastery for each stack of underestimated. So just right here, let's not even talk and go into leadership just for a second. Let's just go and talk about underestimated. So it's this unique twisted prophecy, and it says at the start of each character's turn, this is for his allies on his team and also the enemies. It says here, he gains 1 stack of underestimated, which caps out at 60. And it says doubled for Galactic Republic and Jedi enemies. So if you're fighting a Master Kenobi team with everybody full on being Galactic Republic or Jedi, that is 10. Each time they're going, that's 10 extra underestimated. And that's not even including the ones you're going to be getting over time, just from you taking turns and whatnot, right? So this can get very, very high very, very quickly. And I dare say you might want to just wait for them to keep on hitting you, have them taking more turns, you building up your underestimated stacks, and then once you have a lot of underestimated stacks, that's when you want to use the Unshackled Emotions, which gives out all of that mastery to your dark side allies. So if this caps out at 60 for underestimated, you can give out to your dark side allies 60% mastery, which is not even including the mastery you can get from his leadership. And that right there is pretty scary. It says it doesn't cap out for the mastery gain. This can really kind of just keep stacking and stacking. So for long battles, this is going to do a lot of great, awesome, fun damage. So this is one thing I'm pretty dang sure this team could auto the Sith Raid just purely based off of this ability. So yeah. Also, if you do have your ultimate and you have the Ashes of Republic, it says inflict ability block for 1 turn, which can be dispelled or resisted, and increases the target enemy's cooldowns by 2. So you're going to get an ability block, I think, for everybody, but then you're going to increase target ally or target enemy by 2. That's pretty powerful. So the biggest thing to his kit, in my opinion, just from reading it, is this special here. You can just stack mastery on your allies, and that is such a powerful thing, especially if you are going to be talking about his leadership, which just kind of, man, it just does some crazy awesome things. So there's a lot of stuff to read here. It's like a whole entire book, right? But I want to kind of go over a bit of these things, kind of the most important parts here. And I'm kind of talking about this in terms of a Master Kenobi, because right now Master Kenobi is the meta in terms of GLs. So yeah, we have this very bottom part here to his leadership, which has it above 35% and above 50. You have extra, what is it saying? During enemies' attacks, they are immune to max health reduction, all that, blah, blah, blah. And then it says here above 50% health, you are immune to damage over time and thermal detonators, which is awesome. And then also it says when you're below 80% health, then you can't be critically hit. So that's below 80% health. That's like a lot of health, and you're going to be immune to crit. So a lot of great stuff here, okay? So that's like one big thing. It's going to make it harder for teams that were, in the past, they flourished from critically hitting the enemies. Well, now they're going to be a bit more neutered. And teams that come to mind for GLs, at least, are going to be, I would say, first and foremost, Master Kenobi, but then also Supreme Leader Kylo Ren for 2. So it's going to be kind of curious to see how all this works out. So that's like one of the big things from his leadership. Of course, the second thing is the allies getting hit, and that provides the ultimate charge. That's huge, right? Also, right here, whenever a dark side ally loses a buff, these guys gain more mastery until the end of the encounter. So just even more mastery gained there on top of the awesome special we just read. But then also, another big thing here in terms of Master Kenobi is right here. It says those Empire and Darkside unaligned Force users, pretty much just like Maul, I think some of the Kylos too, and Asajj, I want to say, they're going to have more critical chance and damage when targeting Galactic Republic enemies. But then also it says whenever an enemy is critically hitting these guys, that enemy has a minus 30% critical damage for 3 turns, and this can stack. So, for example, if you are using your Padawan Ahsoka that is always called into assist whenever they are using a special ability, your Padawan Ahsoka is going to hit for probably 1 damage over the entirety of this battle. So, just like, be prepared, okay? Be prepared for this part to his leadership. This is probably one of the most nastiest things I've even seen, because a lot of characters in the game flourish off of critically hitting enemies to getting those kills off, right? And if they're going to be lowering their critical damage once they get crits, that is huge. And that's for 3 turns, which can stack. That is disgusting. All right, and then of course, if you haven't read this big part to his kit, pretty much these guys, Empire and Darkside Unaligned Force users with, of course, Lord Vader, they lose all protection and they gain that much back in health, which is just like the Darth Nihilus. And then it says if they are, well, you know, a Darkside Unaligned Force user, they gain some more of this reduced damage. If there's like a Maul there at the start of the battle, they take reduced damage from enemy light side Unaligned Force user attacks. So pretty much, you know, some GL Rey, maybe even some of those Commander Ahsokas, so on and so forth, right? But then I would say another big thing here, which kind of bumps up older characters to make them actually useful. For example, Royal Guard is this next thing. It says here, the Empire tanks can now taunt for 2 turns. And this is at the start of the battle. If everybody on the team is Darkside, they all gain these bonuses. It says that the Empire and Darkside Unaligned Force user are immune to fear, and then the Empire tanks taunt for 2 turns, and then when they lose that taunt, they gain mark. So they're going to pretty much have a taunt for at least 3 turns. Even if you get dispelled, you're going to have it for an additional turn with the mark. So that just makes it even harder to get around these tanks to get the Commander Ahsoka one-shot off on like a Maul or another annoying character, maybe like a Peter or Darth Vader. So that's pretty much it for the leadership. I think the biggest thing here is really this part right here, which is going to be lowering people's critical damage over time. So it's going to be a very, very nasty character in this game. Again, to kind of pinpoint the scariest things here, I would say the #1 thing is going to be this special, and which is getting, you know, your allies getting hit. You know, you're going to get a lot more stacks of underestimated, and and with them just taking more turns for the enemies. You know, it just plays into more part. You almost want to have a slower team, because then that way they gain more turns, which not only fuels underestimated, but also if they're hitting your team, you get even more ultimate charge, which can allow you to go into ultimate, getting the Ashes of the Republic even that much more fast. So that's just his annoying thing. It's like in this team, I dare say you might not even really care. Outside of mirror matches, at least, you might not even really need mod any of these guys to be very fast, which is kind of a nice thing, right? But we'll have to see. Again, this is just the kit reveal, day 1 kit reveal, just looking at it all. I would love to know your guys' thoughts on all this down below. But I think this guy comes out this weekend or sometime very, very soon. I can't get him unlocked, but if you guys have the access to him, let me know, because I would love to do some showcasing, some footage or whatever it is, to just see how he is, even without Maul, because we don't even have Maul from Conquest for another few months, or at least 1 to 2 months, I think it is. I forget. But anyways, I mean, this is insane, guys. Crazy. So yeah, that's it for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. My little breakdown, the stuff to be worried about, and why I think this is probably now going to be a top GL in the game. And if it can, which I think it will, be able to solo a Sith raid, probably going to be awesome in the Challenge Rancor, and then being able to be probably like a new meta or one of the strongest teams in the game. I mean, this is probably going to be the best GL we've had in a long time. If not, it is the best GL in terms of everything. So stay tuned. More talk about this here soon. Go check out that video with Operation Metaverse if you guys want even more insight and detail on this. But that's about it for me today. Have a great one, guys. Until next time, I will see you later. Peace out and have a good one. Bye, guys.